Good morning, good morning, good morning. Can you guys hear me? Audio check. Good morning, Mark. Um, Welcome to the room. Good morning, Mike. All right. So, all right, let's get this party started and let's go over the analysis of today and get ready for the trading day. So, we're getting a bit of that breakout from yesterday, and I gotta uh, talk about that setup that we initially had yesterday once we get to NQ because it was gold. Really, it was gold. Um, but let's start with this YM. We're breaking target number two on the downside, so this is gonna hold up as a bit of a support, at least this morning. We have Globex at 30,569, and we're heading toward 3,100. Ultimately, we got to go to 31,308 into 31,343. And that gap is a critical gap for us to cover. And that happened on June the 10th. So if we start chewing through the transitional zone, we've seen how whenever we get to that transitional zone, things start to get top heavy and reverse, and that is a sign that there is a continuation of the selling pressure. So right now we are in rotation higher within this channel number two, and ultimately if we start getting up to these levels, which are 31 264 to 500, you're kind of looking for reversal patterns. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. So that's why I am. Let's take a look at. Let's do something else here. That's crude oil. I mean, that's NQ, and well, I mean, boy, we're covering that gap, and it's the strongest one out of all of them. If you really want to think about it, the difference between it and ES and YM is definitely pronounced. This rally is stronger. We are at that 866, covering that gap, and we're starting to chew into this transitional zone. You have uh, really the shorts need to protect 12,224, and ultimately the 12,000 is going to be a critical level as well. So we're picking up a bid overall in this structure of the market, but the overwhelming channel number two on the downside cannot be ignored, and you could tell right here uh, on 5-5 how the market came up to that transitional zone and failed in a significant way on a multi-day rotation, and the same thing happened on 517, and boom, here we go. So over and over and over the market reacts to those levels, but we need the setup. I mean, that could be the environment. We need the behavior and we need the actual signal. Now let's take a look at gold, and that's still been a meat grinder. We got a little bit of a reaction against the transitional zone into target number two. We talked about that extensively, how the market is constantly coming to this level and failing to break out of channel number two. And ultimately, the target for all this behavior is a break of the 1800 into 1765.3, which is target number three in the sequence and in this channel that we're seeing right now. and we are trading in and around Globex. As long as the market is not breaking 1881, all these behaviors that we're seeing here are high probability events. All right, let's see what else is out there. And crude. Yeah, there's some stuff going on in crude here. So we broke that channel, and we need to adjust that channel actually right now. Here we go. All right. So man, I mean that 123, it just came in and they put the stop on that crude oil. They really did. And our inclination in that instrument is to see the market come in, retest, put a one candle reversal, and continue back up and start breaking out. What happened here is they put this rotation on 16, which the following day you're looking for a continuation pattern, but the fact that the market failed it was critical, and that challenged channel number two and broke it into the last attempt at channel number two right now, which means anything under the 100, you know, this market is going to be, suffering a, a significant correction. Okay, but the longs are not done yet. So if this candle continued to trade higher, then an attempt at 110 can be significant, and then we could start going up in that rotation. So as long as this price right here, actually 101.72, holds, then there's hopes for these longs to continue to protect. Now let's take a closer look at NQ, right? So if you guys remember, we were talking yesterday about this captain setup long, which was a significant um, event, and market rallied into it, came into this FOMC number, and really seriously do yourself a favor and put a line in your chart around FOMC number, and that number is literally 1 second before the Fed fund rate is announced. That is that actual number, and you will find out shortly after that, that week, that month, that number becomes so significant, and you'll see a lot of behavior around it that is very tradable and meaningful. So the captain setup came in here, came and retested it once, rolled over, and this is where we made the money yesterday. Is that little pullback, and it was a little bit nasty, but we took it on, knowing that we have such a great support into that captain setup and the transitional zone and the FOMC meeting, and there was Globex around that price. I mean, it was just like 10 different reasons why we should get long, and get long in a big way with size. And eventually that trade worked out. We they gave the impression of a breakout, and they failed it. We understood that price action, and they did the same exact thing again. And price action just shot up into the close and into Globex. So that captain setup, if you are in the business of trading swing trading on a multi-day and option trading in any of these indices, this captain setup on the 200 NT Rinko is your best friend, because you will always see big moves happening from it and against it, and it's seriously a significant um, behavior. I'll give you that one right here. On the old contract, it happened, and that was like a 1,000 point. This is the market corrected and started to move away from it. That's about 400 points. This one corrected and came back up, and you're looking at from 240, 600 points. This one is what? 70, let's call it, okay, 600, so 100, 200, 200, almost 300 points. That's what you're dealing with. Bear with me. All right, so that's that. Back to it. So the big idea here is we have a 200 NT wrinkle that is still long even after that extension. Target number 4 in the sequence is 908.5. So that's going to be a significant place for us to go to. Then target number 5 is breaking the 12,000 into the 12,182. Okay. You would expect some pullbacks coming in here, be honest with you. Yeah, you should be seeing a bit of a pullback, but cannot anticipate it. Just have to kind of wait for it to at least give us a one candle reversal, excuse me, 787.75, 787.75. If we get that level, then you could expect a bit of a correction that we should look for that correction to stabilize and then reverse, as long as we do not break the 688, which is blowbacks. Okay, and right now what we're seeing right now is a captain setup short here. The market actually ran up into it, and you're seeing a 200 and 100 that are in sync on the long side. So the plan is for this morning is to, within a minute here, give the market a bit of an opportunity to uh, just open up the range a little bit, and we'll figure out what they are trying to do. For example, if the market close at 813, then what this is telling me is I have a captain setup short and a switch trade. That would be a signal for me to fade this market. If we break up above 65, then I'm going to leave the market alone because it's extended, and I'm going to, gather more information, and we will see a bit of more push higher. Here we go. They're doing it already. And it's 8:30 right now. Good morning, Asrar. Good morning, Adnan. Good morning, Randolph. Good morning, Brian. So we see that they built up a rotation here, and they shot it up. We have a transitional zone that is long. Now just it disconnected. So as long as we continue to trade above 825, the bids can hold the line here. If we do break below that 824, then what we're having is a market that is disconnected, and there is a good probability of at least a retest of the 800. Boom. Yeah, that's there you go. So they established another transitional zone and they shot up to target number four out of that sequence. The longs are in charge. Target number five is 902. All right, we are flat for the day. No trades done. And let's look for our first trade. Yeah, well, that open is good for you. It's just a, a gap up and a run. Good morning, GM. Target number five is hit on that sequence. That was a very nice one right here. So that's the type of trades that we want to be involved into. Is that everything is in sync, and then you get this transitional zone, and you get a retest of the transitional zone. Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff going on here. 63, where's 63? Oh yeah, that was good. Look at that 50 NT Rinko too. They did the same thing here and put a switch trade. So all these charts all got in sync around that same spot, around the 60 and 50, and shot up in a breakout pattern. Good morning, Sheila. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Another transitional zone right here built up. Target number five. We had a rally in Bitcoin as well, all the way to 21,300, and we're oscillating, consolidating with an overall long bias. We just need this cloud to actually shift and start to see transitional zones for higher prices. As long as we continue to trade above 21,000. It's interesting that they keep doing this. It's almost like they're putting the brakes on. They put a captain setup and failed it, then they're putting another captain setup short right here. So you would expect a bit of a retest of the 900 level. This would be the expectation. I mean, if I get 9, oh, come on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I took the scalp version of that trade because we are in a strong market, but that is a beauty. And that's a captain setup switch trade above target number five. I'll take it every single time. So that trade made us $680 on that one. And let's just keep working. Like if I saw this type of behavior when the market is trending lower, I would be sizing up and holding on. But we are in an environment that the market is very strong to the upside. So I had to take the scalp version of it. I think I it took me like 2 seconds, something like that. Let me see here. So that trade from 8:38:17, that is 8 seconds. So that's an 8 second trade right there. Boom. 680. Here we go. They're doing the same similar pattern though. They're putting the captain set up shorts and they're pushing lower. They're testing and retesting. So that is telling me that the market is getting a bit tired here. Just a little bit. And we extended past target number five. All right. What is the plan? Really shouldn't be going short. Uh, in the face of this type of behavior because it's very strong, and we're past target number five, which means the market is extended, and we hit target number four on the 200 NT Rinko, and target number five is what we discussed is 12. We got to break the 12,000 first before we start talking about 12,132. So that is the target there. Good Lord. Yeah, if you ever see this formation anywhere, it's a giver. All right, so we are retesting channel number one in this sequence. We're see that beauty of a captain setup, the test, the retest, and then the breakout of all that formation into a higher target. When you're on the 200 NT Rinko and you see this captain setup, start looking for big moves, start looking for swing trading patterns, and hold on to trades a lot longer than you typically do because the market is telling you it's about to make a big move. And I can take you through the chart, the life of the chart, and show you multiple captain setups and what happened there. You know, so it's really a strong formation. So I mean, they gave us a couple of captain setup shorts right here, tested target number five, and just shot up. And that tells you how strong the market is. Really, that's a strong market. At no time did the 200 and the 100 got out of sync. It just shot up and continued to go higher. It's 8:45. We got 15 minutes to the top of the hour. Happy Friday, everybody. Friday, Facebook. So top of the hour, you're gonna get revised consumer sentiment, and that's going to be an important piece of news. And we'll see how the market reacts to it, and then we'll just keep doing what we're doing. Polly, are you around, buddy? Just okay. So we're getting a little bit of disconnect right here. We hit target number three on the 100 NT Rinko and target number four on the 200 NT Rinko. And the market is still showing a bid. All right, so here we go. Another transitional zone, and the market has been effective at holding on to them and at least pushing 10, 15 points before a reversal. And you're seeing a whole lot more actually. Like this transitional zone trade went from 10 to 60. So that's a 50-point run up. Like I'm not gonna get cute with this market. Like I'm not gonna look for ways to fade it when the market is resoundly long. And a lot of traders will look at this as like, oh, it's overextended, it's overextended. Let me start a small short position and add to it. And oh no, markets like that can be ruthless. They will continue to go higher and higher. I've seen over 28 candles in a row on the 200 NT Rinko to the upside on NQ. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you got 13. This is the 14th candle. So you could go another 10, 15 candles to the upside, another two, 300 points. Market does not. care about extension. It cares about sentiment, and it cares about if there's energy in the system to support the move. We are in channel number one and two and moving higher in a breakout pattern. So that breakout needs to run its course. How would the market look like if it's short? I mean, that's just how that would look like. You at least need a one candle reversal and then build on it. Then the cloud shifts. Then look what happens every time they tested. That's how you are looking to really get active and heavy on a swing trade basis and an intraday basis when it comes to shorting. Obviously, this one goes without saying, but it started at 673, market shifted, and you got one candle reversal, boom, 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 and all the way down. So for me to come in here and say, I'm going to pick the top is a low probability event. I let the top build itself and test itself. Then I'll participate. How's everybody doing? Brian, how are we doing, buddy? Sheila, any trades? Mark, ask any questions you have while we have a little bit of downtime later on. Don't hesitate to ask a question. And Mike, how are we doing today? Any trades? GM, did you get out of your longs? It seems like that's what you did. Asrar, how are we doing? Good morning, Omer. How are you? Good morning. A really solid extension of that move. Now, what happens if price action breaks down to 936? If we get to 936, that means the 200 and the 100 are out of sync and the market is pausing. And that could be the earliest signs that the market is at least looking for a bit of a pause and a pullback. But ultimately, we got to break into 888 in order for us to, even contemplate a fade short of this move. So 888 is that level I'm going to look for. Otherwise, what you're going to find out after this big move is the market's going to chop, drop, rally to retest, and continue in that pattern till they build up enough energy to make the next move. Hey, Adam. Good morning. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. It's a big move, buddy. It's your kind of move because I know you would have been long and strong and heavy. So they established a new transitional zone lower. So you expect a little bit of a pullback into that 40 level that we're talking about. And 38 is the price that will disconnect this market. Could have, would have, should have, right? Yes. So but guess what? In that big old run up, I ended up taking one trade. And guess which side of that market did I take? Just take a guess. No, I went short. But look where I mean, look where I went short at though. Captain set up switch trade, just got to end there for a scalp on five contracts. Made 680, but just the market is so strong, and I just took the scalp version of that trade. But you see a signal, you see a signal, and those signals are very strong. I mean, if that signal came in a market that is a short market, where the 200 and the 100 are short, yeah, would have gotten heavy. So they're retesting. We're going into a consolidation phase right here. Well, at least a pause. Look at that. Oof. Yeah, you have 9 o'clock, which is the sentiment number, and that's what the market is. Yeah, what you're seeing here is the sentiment number. We are hitting target 12,000, right? Now the next one is 12,132. Market is making big moves. They covered the gap in Nasdaq from June the 10th. That's what you're seeing here. Another transitional zone up here. Man, they're just loving these transitional zones today. 9 o'clock, we got news coming, or news came, and the market is reacting positively to the sentiment numbers, which is a surprise to me, to be honest with you. You would think that they are, market is not in a good mood, but it is. Forex Factory, here we go. It's revised EOM, consumer sentiment. Let's see what that number is. Their forecast 50.2. They came out at 50. New home sales came out at 696,000 versus 590 forecast. And the previous expectation was 5.4 versus 5.3 on revised inflation expectations. Oh, maybe that's what's getting the market all excited. Yeah, look at this. Oof. That's what I'm saying. Don't get excited about getting short. Don't fade this type of market. Don't. It's not ready yet. And I want to play. I want to play with this market a little bit here. It's just hard. It's hard for me to kind of have, like, I'm the most active when I get a fresh reversal, like that first one candle. That's when I get sized up and active into that first one and two. When the market is in the middle of these ranges like that, I tend to, just kind of hold back and under trade it, because it's you're running into an extension of price action, and a reversal could be possible in a slower market. But and this is what the market is showing us. They came in with that captain setup, tested once, tested two, and what was in that zone? You got the captain, the channel, the FOMC number, Globex, the transitional zone. I mean, like, I could keep adding. There's like five, six, seven reasons to be very involved on the long side of that type of behavior. And we did get involved, we made a little bit of money on that rotation. And now you're getting an extension of that move. They are really running over the shorts in this market. Let's take a look at the big picture. The Nasdaq's up 300 points. I mean, it's not a big deal, but the way it's doing it, it's a big deal. Yeah, boom, boom. They're coming in hot and heavy, and they gotta protect that channel at 252. That is a downward channel, and they are needing to protect it. The few times that we came into the middle of the transitional zone initially, the market just collapsed. So we will have to, but it didn't collapse. It collapsed the following day. It was not an intraday collapse of the price action. Yep. Now, if this candle closes lower, yeah, I may, no, it didn't. So great. That's fine. So putting a captain setup short here. Let's see how they handle that one. I mean, I could go one contract short if they break that 52, and that would be early and a bit on the risky side, but 2060. But this candle got a closed lower. That means they tested the captain setup short and they confirmed it. If they run this thing up, I'm leaving it alone. Yeah, we're leaving it alone. Yeah, yeah, I know. I muted myself, GM. I'm just. I was talking to Alexa, so I'm sure you don't want to hear me talking to her. I mean, here we go. I mean, they're starting to at least pause here. That's just a bit of a pause. You went short. I mean, in which way? Like on options or spies or futures or spies, options, or just bought the or short 386. Okay. I mean, at least we're pausing here just a tad bit. If this candle closes lower, I'll take a shot with one contract, just one contract at 45. Yeah, nothing there yet. Okay, it's not ready yet. It's not ready. All righty. So the market disconnected. Yeah, we got stopped out on that one. Once it got up to that level and shifted the cloud, I needed to kind of trim my exposure to this market. And we are looking for and to see how the market is going to react here. It looks like we're stabilizing on the short side. I mean, on the long side, meaning the market is consolidating. We broke the 100 NT Rinko. This market is out of sync. So we're kind of looking for a push toward that 12,000 and a retest of it. Let's see if we get there. If I get a signal to go short here, I'm going to keep it very light. Like a 1-2 contract deal going on here. Yeah, they're going to push this bad boy lower. Yeah, there's a little bit of yeah, selling pressure coming through here. They're starting to establish the transitional zones and holding on to them, and you got the disconnect between the 200 and the 100. So that's the earliest signs that the market at least pausing. Um, the shorts are not smooth, and that's what happened here. I got involved, added to it. It just didn't want to sit through run up to 12,100. So I took that stop, and the market came back and got in sync. Well, I wouldn't call it in sync, but they gave us a switch trade here and a spear trade right here. So we'll see. I'll give it a little bit of time, let it consolidate, and then we'll go from there. So we're up 117 dollars for the day. Two trades. Let's keep working. Here we go. We're hitting target number two in this sequence. I may look at this cover that I just did here and regret it, but that may be the absolute high of the day. But I gotta take my stops though, so just gotta take them. Gotta take them. AMR. Okay. Alpha Meteorological Resources, 137.77, up 6%. Yeah, but it broke that channel. Let's see what we're talking about here. Yeah, 126, 146, 129, 137. So it's trying to retest that channel, the upward channel. It broke it and trying to retest it. What are you looking to do there? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need to put on one good trade. Excuse me. It's a Friday, so let's put on one good trade. The 200 is not short yet, Brian. It will be short once it concludes itself and closes at 988. If you see that price, that means that candle completely reversed. And at that point, we'll start looking for rallies as a shorting opportunity. Okay. Good morning, Ron. How are you? Hey, Brian. Hey, Ben. Ben Black, how are you? Well, stick around and you'll see how we trade it. So we're getting we're getting they're walking it down. They established this transitional zone. They're pushing to target one, two, and three. And 88 is that level in which if we break below, and it looks like we will get a structure in the market that supports fading to potentially the 950 and 900. Those are NT Rinko bars at Ninja Trader. So they're Ninja Trader Rinko bars with wicks. So they give you the reversal clearly, and they filter out a lot of the noise. Really great, great candles. Be honest with you, man. Look at this sell off. Didn't I say I'm gonna I'm gonna regret that cover? I sure did. Crude is going up. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, look at that. They're punching it up here a little bit. So yeah, you may get a little bit of a correction in this market. VXX, yeah, yeah. I would think that we should be getting a little bit of correction. The 88 is the level that we need to be paying attention to. So once we get to that level, then things can start to get lively on the short side. 945. Yeah, I bet you do, GM, and all of them are good reasons, right? All right. So while this is going on, just as a recap of our week, from the 19th to the 24th. Right now we're up only 117. We were up a little bit more than that, and we took a small stop. But we had 468 on a Sunday. Then we got okay into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So we're consistently making money this week, and we're up about 10,950 for the week. Short week, where most of the money is made, is on the short side, which is the environment is very constructive, conducive for that. And we're running into about 10 minutes per trade, which is above average, but we're holding on to things a little bit longer. Definitely making attempts to do that. And about even on winning versus losing, but we're winning more than we're about 63%, 1.68. Okay. So that's how that week is looking like. Adam, I mean, I think we had that conversation like multiple times, right? Yeah, it's coming, man. It's coming. Just give me a couple of months. I mean, we got to go through the testing and all that stuff, but it's factor in 2 months. Ask me that question in 2 months. No, I know you're excited, and trust me, I'm excited about it too. So I definitely appreciate you asking. So it just from now till 2 months, I wouldn't. Um, I mean, I wouldn't have much to kind of report, but I'll tell you this. I mean, this is the NT8 version of where we at right now, right? And I'm putting a Bitcoin up here. So we're adding this little Globex band to it, and you could, if you look at the number atom at the bottom, it tells you how far your price is away from Globex. So automatically, as the price moves, you could see, okay, I'm 20 points, 50 points away from Globex just by looking at that number at the bottom there. So that's an added feature, and we're going to fix that up and add more stuff to it. And a lot of great things are coming up for the NT8 version. And that just this part. That's a good question, Adam. It's you're looking at the Globex band are typically when things consolidate, so you just have to treat that a bit differently than if you are trading outside of it. And there will be strategies within the Globex band that are typically different than price expansion above it. What are you talking about here, Gary? Let me see. Oh, the Apex? Yeah, where you at on that? It's 8,500 or $850 because you're putting 8,500. Oh, so the account starts at 250, right? Oh, you're up 8,500. Good for you. It was like you're like the third day into this thing. You must have gotten aggressive. Good for you. Good for you. Good job, man. Um, Sheila, you're saying, am I going to include other stocks to the list in the new version that we're developing? Stocks of what? Like, you're talking about like Amazon, Tesla, that sort of thing, or you could use this system and trade stocks, right? So if you could trade futures, you could trade options, you could trade currencies, you could take crypto, you could take stocks, you could trade it all. So am I including stocks? I mean, I don't display stocks here, so I'm not sure I understand the question. Okay, comment on other instruments. Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of people have been asking me the same question that you're asking me just now, which is, there's a lot of interest in, the big, Tesla, Amazon, um, of the world, Netflix. So, people want to along the day when we have a break from futures, kind of take a look at some of these instruments or and maybe do an analysis. I was a my early beginnings as a trader, and for the first 4.5 years of me trading, I was exclusively a stock and option trader, and I was working for a hedge fund here in Dallas for that time. Um, Actually, a couple of them. One was Momentum Securities, and the other one was Andover Brokerage. Later on, a New York company that came to the Dallas market. So that's all I did for 4.5 years. So I know a thing or two about how to look at these charts. It just we're hyper focused here on futures, but since a lot of people are asking about some of these big names, then going forward, I'll start bringing them up and talking about them and about certain levels that we need to look for. So yes, the answer to your question is yes. Here we go, Adam. That is a good. That's a good thing to hear, my friend. That's all what That's those small steps that you're taking are significant. They are significant. If you improve 1/10 of 1% on a daily basis, by the end of the year, you're a totally different trader. So we keep coming very close and testing the 12,000 there. They're parking the price right here. You need the 88 to come in. Thank you, Adnan. Adnan, I appreciate you, man, for doing that. Appreciate the support. Hey, good morning, Safe. How are you, sir? All right. So, on streams, if you like what you're seeing uh, and you want to support the channel, just like, subscribe, and share, and spread the word. We're building a community here, and the more, the merrier. So, thank you. So, taking a look at ES, I mean, it's very similar behavior than, you saw in NQ. These transitional zone build, and then they disconnect and reconnect into a wave of buying interest. Then the market gets to this zone and it flips for the first time, the cloud, and they're resuming it back up. You're seeing the same thing happening in NQ right now as well. So the new transitional zone, they put a railroad trade long and hit target number one. Kim retraced it. It's going to target number two and the high. And it's actually in a way, it's behaving a little bit better than NQ. And NQ was stronger than ES. So there's a bit of disconnect between those two instruments right now. ES is stronger than NQ. All right, guys. Sorry, I mean I've been just talking on the phone for a little bit here, so that's what you're seeing my mouth talk. That's what it is. I'm not talking about the market. So here we go. We got to the level 88, and we need to be looking at rallies as a shorting opportunity, as this market has basically pulled back one candle reversal on the 200. So why is that? The market still, generally speaking, intraday and in the past 2 to 4 days has been in this channel number one, channel number two, looking on the upside. Now we are looking for a retracement into target number four, which is 905. So we're looking for rallies as an opportunity to fade against that move, and I'm gonna do it with small number of contracts, and it's gonna be a function of looking for the market to rally up here, disconnect from this transitional zone, and reestablish a new one. Once that happen, I'm gonna look for entry points and go from there. You gotta understand, patience is the key, consistency is the key, and you gotta find repeatable patterns and do the exact same thing in the exact same thought spot every single time. And it's Friday too. Yeah, the 200 NT Rinko is short, Brian, but that doesn't mean we go short anywhere. It's just we need a rally back up, and we need, because once you, when I look at the 200 and the 100, what is it actually telling me? It's defining the environment. So now I can say that the 200 and the 100 are in sync on the short side, which mean that this is a prime environment for some selling pressure to show up. That's just simply the environment. Now, we need to go from that point on to the next stage, which is a behavior. So I'm looking for a specific behavior. And what is that behavior? Is the market running up here, consolidating, disconnecting from this transitional zone, this beautiful transitional zone, and reestablish a new one? Exactly like this. I mean, here we go. One, and look how that beautiful, beautiful. Because what this thing is telling me, it's capturing momentum. Then once the momentum is off, it gets off of it and disconnects from it. Here we go. Momentum, momentum, momentum. So one, two, three, four. four of them happening. So that will be the behavior, but that's not a trade either. The trade is the signal at that point. So now you have a 200 and 100 that are in sync on the short side. Then you have a behavior that is a transitional zone. Then we're looking at the beginning of that transitional zone and looking for signals, like a signal that, for example, this is a inception trade. We could see a captain set up a short. We could see this, a switch trade. All of these are signals happening right at that spot. And that is what we're looking for the market to start hitting target one, two, and three. And then four and five, if the market is showing that much um, conviction in that direction. Yeah, it is, Ben. It's hung up here. So it's playing around with this range. We're coming into the middle of the range here at at 954. If we drop, we're in and around that level. So ultimately, I want to see the transitional zone happen. So if we look at this and we ask ourselves, what's the future of this current candle right now? Like, what should we be looking for on a in the next half an hour, 45 minutes? If we continue to protect 12,037, then the future of this candle is to close lower, and that will lead us to 60. So 960. And from 960, you're looking at 935, which will take you into the transitional zone right here. And then the market will start trying to stabilize. And if that tests well, then you could get a resumption on the upside. Otherwise, breaking that trend line at 915 will put a structure that could get you to 950, and then retesting of the middle of the range at 814. So if we're looking at this, the whole idea is for me to test that the 37, which is 38, which is the stop of this rotation on the swing trade indicator. So if that holds, then the future of this next candle and the one after that is lower prices. So what has to happen? What has to happen is, see how they're flipping the market right now and flipping the cloud? That means that, okay, there's a bit of a rotation upward coming in. So I have to wait through that and make sure that the 37 does not break, and then have the cloud turn back in short with a new transitional zone. Then I'm interested. And I can hold on to a price structure that could be 100 or 200 points in my direction. But this candle that we are in, that big candle on the 200 NT wrinkle, needs to hold. Needs to hold. So you're finding me being patient and patient and patient and waiting, because I want to put myself in the highest probability event where I can get in there with the mentality of uh, a scalp till it's proven bigger. So I'm going to look at it as, hey, listen, I want to pay for this trade so I can afford staying in it longer. Like, I don't want to get into a trade and having it, for example, go against me and flip and it's running up and I'm adding to it, trying to get back to break even. But I want to get into a trade, let's assume it's short, and cover some, like, 5 contracts, you cover two, three of them, and now you have two, and you could hold on for a swing trade with two, and you could add to it as the price is behaving in your direction. It's a lot easier for me to stick around in a trade for a big move if I'm already paid. I've already captured some money, I already took some money, and I'm already at break even. Now I can sit through a market that runs up 70 points and retrace 50, and then runs up another 100 points. I have the capacity now to do that. So a lot of times you see, let me see if you can see this here. Some of these trades, let's see. Yeah, I see that consolidation bin, and that's what I'm basically talking about here is waiting through that consolidation, seeing the early signs of a consolidation. And it all started right here with this captain setup. The market came in, tested and retested the top end, and now shifted. I got to wait through all of that and watch the market reverse and go back and give me another cloud negative and a new transitional zone. Waiting for that will give me momentum that can take me to, we said 60, and we said uh, 30 25. Then we're retesting the 900, and then we go from there. So they could put a captain setup short right here, which they just did. So now we should see a flush into 990. We're gonna test that 89 and break it. Here it comes. See that test of the 88, how they bounced it right back up. So now they're gonna have to see, we're gonna have to see how they handle the 12,009 nine half. If you start hitting that level, then you are breaking and disconnecting between the 200 and the 100, and that put us square into a consolidation phase that we need to wait through. Like the market still have some hope here on the short side, but if you start breaking anything above that 910, then that picture will start to shift. At a minimum, I'm taking a pause. And this is the beauty here is momentum happens when the 200 and the 100 are in sync. It never happens when they're out of sync. So if the market goes out of sync, you know that you need to wait. And typically 99% of the times where you have a consolidation is whenever you have both are out of sync. That's basically literally the definition of consolidation. The 200 is off the 100 and the 200 are not in the same direction. So you see these type of patterns happen. So the market is always in three phases. Either it's a long, it's either a short, or you need more information. That's the third phase in the market. Yeah, when I say out of sync, absolutely chop. That is where the market is choppy and not directional, because it's trying to figure out what it wants to do, and sometimes you get counter trends going on, and you get a lot of fades and a lot of stop drops and reversals. It just, the market is in that little, that phase of trying to build stops on both sides. Then they take it in the direction afterwards. It's very important for me to be very specific and precise in understanding every phase in the market. And it has to be like, if the market does this, I need to wait. It cannot be I feel like, because if you feel, that's not what the market is doing here. It's literally, it's a mechanism of an energy mechanism that kind of rotates into people. And you cannot feel, because feel, you could feel very good one day, you could feel, not as good the following day, you could be out of your feeling one day. It's just, feeling is not the measure here. The measure is very precise rules that will tell you, if the market does A, I will do B. And you do that over and over and over. Rule based systems are by far a better approach to trading the futures market, options, stocks. It doesn't matter what you trade. Uh, a set of rules that govern your behavior. I mean, people ask me all the time, consistency. You're consistent, you're profitable. Why? Consistency is emotional consistency. That's where it comes from. If you're emotionally consistent every day, meaning that you prepare yourself mentally to do the same exact thing the same exact way every single time, then that will set you up to be consistent. Well, you could be consistently profitable, or you could be consistently losing money, but you're consistent. So that's the first step. Now you got to turn the consistently losing money into consistently making money. And that will come in here into a system that has an edge. How can I trade both sides, Sheila? Well, we do trade both sides, right? You see it on a daily basis. How do we do it? I literally would have to make sure that those two elements are in sync and in harmony, and then start looking for transitional zones, and start looking for signals at the beginning of a transitional zone, and do that over and over and over. So if the market, eh, and this is the part where it almost takes away the thinking part of you, which is a good thing in trading, is right here. How many people do you think felt or guessed that the market is too extended and needs to top off, and they will go short into a market that is decisively short from the longer term perspective? How many people you think got swept up in that? The majority of people. So since the market is telling me 200 and 100 are in sync in that direction, I don't have to think, I don't have to feel. I just have to follow that, then follow the rest of the elements, which is, do we have a transitional zone? Do we have a signal? And just keep trading in that direction. Now, you could say to yourself, I don't want to participate in this, but you're definitely not going to tell yourself, hey, listen, I need to get short here because I want to get cute with this market. You're not saying that to yourself. You're not trading like that. Retail traders are getting swept up in that. The market moves where most people are wrong because it needs energy, and the energy is the stops that they put right above that market here at 759. That's where most of the stops are at. And once the market got here and opened up and it couldn't go lower, they just all the shorts into the open just got hammered because a lot of people are seeing this and saying, okay, well that's a gap up in essence, and the gap up always gets covered. Well, 200 points later, still has not covered. So you can trade on an intraday basis and even on a daily and weekly basis. You could trade both sides of the market. I could trade both sides of the market within 20-point range if the market's giving me signals to do so. So that's the focus. Just focus on that. Precision is a decision, right? I'm sitting here talking and not paying attention to this that just happened. That was a switch trade here, and that's okay. Well, see, they hit that level, hit target number one. Let's see if we can get a rally back up. Go from there. So that would be a signal right here at 83 short, and a stop of '07, and you're looking at target number two. Let's see if that happens. I'm patient here. I want to see more of this market. But things are starting to line up. Because you have to remember this has what is that, 60? So the success here will lead us to seeing 60 as a target. If this candle closes lower, I'm going to get short. And if it runs up, which you just did, I'm going to cancel this and wait. And I'm trading the minimum amount of contracts right now. What happened if it closes at 85? I'll give this a shot with one contract. And I'll add to it if we run up. And I'm gonna get out of that one. Just not a lot of conviction or momentum right here. So I don't want to sit through a lot of noise, and that's what we're seeing right now. I'll get out of it and give the market a little bit of time and see if we can get better behavior. Because what's the expectation here? We've seen this before. Like we've seen it yesterday, where the market makes those reversal. At least it pushes up and it shows motion and momentum, and then takes that direction, or immediately takes that direction. So we got to this point, and we're not, where there's not a lot of that going on, and it just seems to me like the market is holding. It's holding here. So it's giving me noise, and I'm deciding that there's better spots here. I mean, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. They're gonna sell it off. That's energy. It's a Friday. All right. So how's everybody doing so far? Adam, Brian, Sheila, Mike, Ron, Safe. Any trades and how we're doing? Okay, good job, Ben. So what is this personality that I'm seeing right here? We had a one candle reversal on the 200. Things are in sync, but I'm not showing the behavior or the momentum happening. Yeah, I mean there was a no conviction. Well, I mean there's conviction early on in the morning. I mean there's no way about it. It was long, strong, kept going higher. Right now with this one candle reversal is not showing a lot of conviction. So this is what's happening here. If we break, which we're about to, 113, here we go. So the market is out of sync right now. So three things are going to happen. Scenario number one is a break back down to 976, right? If we do that, then the market is back in sync and we can see immediate momentum if that happens. Scenario number two, market runs up from 12 into 37 and into the 45. And if it does that, then reverses on the 100 NT Rinko, then again the market is back in sync. But they made a weak rotation upward before they continue the selling pressure. We've seen this before. And I'll give you an example is that one right here. Look at that one. See that reversal? See how they challenged it all the way back up and then failed it into lower prices? It's a trap to a lot of the longs up here. They're giving them the impression of a continuation, then they slam it back down. That would be a scenario if we do not break above 63, let's call it 64. So we have scenario number one, scenario number two, scenario number three is 63.75 closes. Then pullbacks become buyable just system wise. But the market is at a point where I wouldn't be interested in getting long here. So I'll leave it alone. But that would be the idea. Okay, so scenario one, scenario two, scenario three. One of those scenarios are going to happen. And we'll be ready for it when it happens. So being aware here that the market is not doing what I expected to do got me out of a trade for a minimum amount of stop. So that is money earned in a way because di- didn't get any illusions about hey listen the market has to come back down. I had an expectation here and the expectation did not happen the exact same way that we expected it to happen. Like because right here and right here momentum should have came in and broke the 78 and continued lower, and the market did not do that. It just kept oscillating. It was slow and you could tell how they come in and they pick it up and bring it back up, and I was like okay, this is not an environment. Well, this is the environment. I have an actual uh, behavior which is the transitional zone. I had a signal, then I have an expectation, and that expectation is a follow through. Why are you, why excuse me, why are you not following through in the behavior that is expected? And I got out. Yeah, the chicken dance. That's what they're doing right now. 988. So I need 988 again in order for us to get back in sync on the short side. It's 11 o'clock right now. Yeah, it's pretty much my morning is over. That's what we got going on here. So we're flat for the day for all practical reasons. We're down $50 after commission. For the week, chicken dance, huh? Here we go. That's how my week is looking like. Actually, we had the 19 we played around. So here we go into because we had a half a day on that Sunday into that Monday, and then you got this, and then you got today. So we're 10,781 for the week. Most of it came on the short side. We're running about 2.1, 1.06 on our profit factor, and about 62.3%. Average trade is 54. Not sizing up this week. We did not, I think there's like two trades that I took all week long where I did more than, actually three, more than five contracts. Majority of it was like two contracts, three contracts, less than five, the majority of them. So that's good actually for that low volume. Let me see what else. Right, average ratio 1 to 1. That's not bad. 25 consecutive versus 15. The average here we go. Average winning trade is 1808 to negative 815, and number of trades is 83. So 9.5 minutes. The average for me, like historically, is like 2 minutes. So when I'm going almost five times that, that means I'm holding on to trades a little bit longer, and that's kind of factoring into like I'm doing what I'm doing is I have less size, and I'm holding on for bigger moves and waiting longer, and that's it's helpful. My broker Ben is Ninja Trader, so this is Ninja Trader, and they have their own broker. So I'm with them, and it works perfectly. And the connection is Continuum, which is a CQG connection. My longs are anemic during this week. Not much going on there. It's funny how that works. Let's see here. Graphs. So that's my equity curve for the week. These are the days. We have profitable, 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 profitable. Today is flat. I'm not sure I'm gonna be distribution of time. Yeah, I had that late night trade there that didn't work. Okay, there you go. Everything else pretty much decent. A thousand. We had a couple of trades that were per contract more than 1,000, but everything else is running in around that line. As long as you have it over zero, then you're good. And the weekly is the weekly. half. Let's do an hour. So that segment of between 8 to 2 and actually to 3, we're doing good. Been staying late and playing around with Globex for a little bit. So that's just not, it's mixed results basically. But either early in the morning or late at night is not performing. But here, everything is working out just fine. That tells me I need to go to sleep basically. That's what that tells me to do. Yeah, the past week, for whatever reason, I couldn't sleep. So I wake up and I'm like, okay, let me just see what the market is doing, and putting on a few trades here and there, but nothing big. So that's that. That's how our week is ending. Another positive week, and life is good. So that's gonna conclude my morning, guys. It's 11 o'clock. I'm gonna go take rest. Most likely I'm not gonna come back that last hour of the day on the account of it's Friday and it's been typically Friday. I try to finish early, do my first couple of trades, make some money, and be done with it. So enjoy your weekend, and we will see you next Monday. Ben, what time do your strategy? Oh, you start your stream. Okay, it's typically 8:15 Central Time, 15 minutes before the cash market open, and we run it all the way till 11 o'clock. Now, on days where the market is really active and things are happening, I'll let the stream go on further, longer. But today's not that day. It's too slow. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, Monday. You guys have a blessed weekend, and always remember, decision, precision is a decision, right? And always trade in harmony. And we will see you next Monday.